Hello and welcome back to another Route Guides video. My name's Humphrey. We're going to be talking about the Thailand Elite Visa. Just got it affixed on my passport right here. Of course, I'm covering all the private information. Good for 5 years, and that is the 1-year stamp that comes with it. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything about the Thailand Elite Visa, everything from why I got it. We'll talk about the benefits of the visa, and not all benefits are the same. Some are much better than the others. The electric buggy, the escort service through immigration, through customs, the 90-day reporting help, not that great. They do help with the driver's license and the bank account, but that's stuff that you could do yourself, so it might not be that great of a benefit. But we'll go through all the benefits, or most of the benefits, and we'll rank them to whether they make sense for you. We'll talk about why I got the Thailand Elite Visa, and just to make it short, I'm not 50 yet, so I can't get a retirement visa, and I didn't want to get the education visa. And a couple months ago, when I started this whole process, the currency fluctuations made it to a point where it actually made a lot of sense. We'll talk about how long it took me to get the visa. We'll talk about how much it costs, and the timeline. I'll give you like the exact timelines of when I applied, when I got the response, and when I picked it up. We'll also talk about what happens on your first visit. So you on your first visit, you don't have the stamp and you don't have the visa attached to your passport, so you're coming in just like a normal person. What's the preparation for that? What happens? How long does it take? And then we're going to end with the immigration warnings. So several times, actually pretty much every time in this process, every piece of paper you get, every set of papers, every email you get, you're going to be constantly warned about your responsibilities as an immigrant, as a visa holder. Okay, let's start off with what exactly is the Thailand Elite Visa. The Thailand Elite Visa is basically, just in one sense, you plunk down a bunch of money and you get either a 5 or 20-year visa for Thailand. Now, that's the main benefit, is the visa, and you also get other benefits along with that. But the main one is the 5 or the 20-year visa. Now, what I got was the privileged access, I think it's what it's called, and for 600,000 baht, so this is denominated in Thai baht, so 600K, I got 5 years. Now, within 1 year, what I can do is I can upsize it, I guess. I could supersize it. I could put down another 400K, another 400,000 baht, and that will give me 15 more years, which will give me 20 years. 20 years. Now, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't make sense. I'm going to get another visa by that time. But yeah, that's basically what it is. You plunk down money. They do a little check to just see if you're overstayed and stuff like that. There's also, really interestingly enough, a lot of things they don't tell you until you actually plunk down your money. So we're going to talk about that. And these are some gotchas. But yeah, plunk down money, you get a visa. Another very interesting thing about the Thailand Elite Visa program is it's not officially part of the government. You can kind of think of it as a quasi-private institution, much like in the US we have student loans. God, do we have student loans. And when you get your student loan and you get it guaranteed, it's not actually an official government agency. It's a private corporation, but you think it's government. It's linked. They do business with the government, but it's not actually the government. So in this case, the Thailand Elite Company, the Thailand Elite Visa, comes from a company that works with the government. And you get this visa, you pay for it through agents. And this kind of messes a lot of people up. So you want to get the Thailand Elite Visa, and when you do a Google search, that first 3 pages, you're going to get a lot of different links, like Thailand Elite, Thailand-Elite, Thailand this, Thailand that, right? Different permutations of the word Thailand Elite, right? And these are actually, most of them should be legit, right? So it doesn't matter which agent you get your Thailand Elite Visa through, you pay the same money. So it's not like if you buy from one agent, it's 600,000 baht, and if you get from another agent, it's 650,000 baht. Whatever agent you get this through should be the same price. And so for mine, the 5-year, 600,000 baht. Okay, let's talk about the benefits. Let's list out the benefits and see which ones are good or maybe better for your situation and better for me, and which ones aren't really that great. So the first benefit, the obvious one, it's a 5 to 20-year visa. That's the main one, and that is pretty cool. And the way this works is on your first visit, you're going to get the main page affixed to your, hopefully I'm not showing you everything. So you're going to get that affixed. It takes up a whole page. Now also on your first visit, you're going to get the 1-year stamp. Now that 1-year stamp, it's a 1-year stamp. You don't need to leave Thailand for 1 year. You still have to do a couple other things, but you don't need to leave. Some people, they get the Thailand Elite Visa because they think that they'll be traveling in and out, and they just don't want the hassle of, they just don't want to think about immigration stuff anymore. And okay, I've got a 5-year, I've got a 20-year, I can go in and out, no problem. The other thing that people do is like, okay, I'm going to be staying here for 5 to 20 years. I just want to stay in Thailand. I don't really want to go out. I don't want to get an education visa. I don't want to do border runs. So that's another reason why people do this. Now, this benefit of, you get the 1-year stamp on your passport. That's great. You still have to do, you still have 2 responsibilities. And this gets into the copious amounts of immigration warnings that you get. Throughout this process, you're going to get emails, you're going to get letters, you're going to get the acceptance letter on almost every one of these. And every time you talk to a person, they will repeatedly warn you and remind you of the 90-day reporting. And if you don't know what the 90-day reporting is, it's if you're inside of Thailand for more than 90 days at a time, you have to report to immigration and give them your details. Now, it's been a while since I've done a 90-day reporting because I've traveled in and out. And that's another thing people don't realize is, yes, you have to do the 90-day reporting. But if you're in and out of Thailand constantly, a lot of times you might not even need to do this, because if you're in and out every 1 or 2 months, you'll never hit the 90 days, right? So, but this is your responsibility. You get a condo, you get a long-term apartment, and 90 days starts coming up, you got to report to immigration. Now, there's a benefit with Thailand Elite for that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's your first responsibility, is the 90-day reporting. Your second responsibility that they keep reminding you about is overstaying. So don't overstay. Now, once you got your 5-year, once you got the 1-year stamp, it's pretty much impossible to overstay. I don't know in what circumstance that would hit, because what happens is if you leave Thailand, you're going in and out. This 1-year stamp gets renewed as you come up to the 1 year. So you'll never overstay. If you stay in Thailand, so you're just here, right? And when the 1 year comes up, you've got to go to immigration to get another 1-year stamp, which is not a big deal. I mean, yeah, if you forget to get that 1-year stamp, then yeah, you would be overstaying. So yes, the Thailand Elite itself, this guy lasts for 5 years, but this is just an authorization to get the 1-year stamp. There are a couple things they don't tell you about until you actually start the application process. So you go to the visa agent, whatever website you go to. I went to Thailand-elite.com, filled out the form, very easy, sent them a couple photo, JPEGs and stuff like that. And yeah, it was pretty easy. Let's go through the timeline of how long this all took. So back on September 26th, I started the whole process by going through the Thailand-elite.com website. So that's one of the agents. I filled out the application, and then they submit that to immigration November 1st. So it took about 1 week. And after you're approved, I had to pay for it, right? 600,000 baht. And they take the 600,000 baht through, the main way that they want it is a wire transfer. And this was actually, the wire transfer was actually the toughest part of this whole process. Everything else is easy. The wire transfer is the pain in the ass, right? Now, in this day and age, everyone was recommending, hey, if you're going to do a wire transfer, you're going to use Wise. So, okay, cool. So I got a Wise account and I hooked up my Singapore because I used to work in Singapore back in August, right? I quit my job. I have a DBS. So DBS is their Citibank, right? I have a DBS bank account in Singapore. I hooked the DBS account with Wise, so supposedly I can transfer money, and I tried to shoot out through Wise a 600K wire transfer. Boom, does not work, right? There are a bunch of like money laundering laws. Oh, also another thing, in the rules of submitting the 600,000 baht, it has to be in one shot. It cannot be in multiple parts because that's a money laundering rule. You can't like split it up into 6 pieces of 100K coming from different directions. One bank, one shot, 600,000 baht. So I tried to do it through Wise, and Wise, it kept glitching and it wouldn't do it, and you can't do it. So okay, fine. Through my DBS account, I can send a wire transfer. Pay a little bit more money. The exchange rate sucks. That's why people use Wise, is the better exchange rate. So try to do it through DBS. Doesn't do it. Okay, so maybe it's in the DBS bank website, I can set limits. So maybe my limit was set too low. I raised all the limits to like some crazy amount, like 20,000 US dollars, and it kept glitching. So I have a Charles Schwab account. Go through Charles Schwab, I could send a wire transfer. That didn't work, right? So now it's like, Jesus, I want to pay for this thing. How do I pay for it? So the second option that you could use is credit card. All right, so credit card. Credit card always works, right? And for the credit card, you have to tell them. It's not automatic. So when they send you this paper of email of how to pay for it, right? All the wire transfer stuff, the bank account, that's at top. And they're like, if for some reason you can't do that, you could pay us through credit card. You need to email us and we'll give you the information. So, okay, cool. So after you email them, they send you a link of you click on it, and it's probably the dodgiest looking credit card payment link that you've ever seen. It looked like some 10-year-old made it with just straight static HTML and no JavaScript, but okay, whatever. And so I used my Charles Schwab Visa debit card, and that went through just fine. So paid for everything November 10th, right? So got approved November 1st, and it took me 9 days to figure out, finally pay for the damn thing. And then it took them November 23rd, so it took them 13 days for everything to, your payment's been accepted, it's been verified, and now you are a Thailand Elite, and here is your Thailand Elite ID number. When you are approved, finally approved, you paid and you're approved for Thailand Elite. So the 5-year or 20-year, depending on what you got, does not start now. It did not start November 23rd. Right? That's when I became a Thailand Elite member, but it doesn't start the clock on the 5-year on my passport. Now what you have to do is you have to schedule the paper, the visa, to be affixed to your passport. And the main way that people do this is at Suvarnabhumi Airport, right, the main Bangkok airport, when you're flying in. Because the expectation is, hey, Thailand Elite people have money, so they can fly in and out. So the next time you're flying in, just do it. Just make the appointment. So that's what I chose to do, is get the affixed coming back from Ukraine. So I was in Ukraine for three and a half weeks. Done with that, come back to Bangkok, get the thing popped on my passport. And we did that yesterday. So yesterday was December 13th on a Tuesday. There are a couple attachments that tell you what will happen at this appointment when you go to the airport. You cannot have 2 visas at the same time. So you can't have an education visa and a Thailand Elite visa at the same time. One has to be canceled before you get the other. Also, what was interesting, I think I saw something about volunteer visas. Okay, and I just found the email talking about volunteer. It says that in accordance to the change in company policy, all applicants with a history of the non-immigrant type O volunteer visa will not be able to obtain the Thailand Elite Visa under any circumstances. So if you've ever had the O volunteer visa, you can't get this. Okay, so not every country is eligible to get the Thailand Elite Visa, and this is also something that's not really explained up front unless you go like really searching for it. And so mainly those countries come from Africa, and it's kind of like the normal suspects like Somalia, Sudan, Nigeria, kind of the central part of Africa. You've got some Middle East countries in there like Iraq, Egypt, Iran, Algeria, Lebanon, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Palestine. Wow, it's a big chunk of the Middle East. And then you got a couple countries in Asia, North Korea. You're kind of screwed if you're from North Korea, Afghanistan, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So the main way you get this affixed is coming into the airport, arriving at the airport. The other two ways of doing it is if you're already in Thailand, then you can go to immigration and they'll pop that visa on your passport. And then the final way is if you want to do it outside of Thailand, then you go to the embassy. You have to make an appointment. They require a certain minimum number of days, like 10 to 15 days of notice for you to do that. So, and that doesn't make sense. I mean, I would not recommend that you do this because when you get it affixed on your passport, the clock is running. So it's better just the next time you fly into Thailand, just have that popped on your passport. So getting into your first visit, what you do is you email Thailand Elite before you come, and it's like 48 hours before, there's some decent amount of time. So you let them know before you arrive into Thailand. You give them your flight details, Thai Airways, Flight World, whatever, coming from here. Right when you step off the jet bridge, so I stepped off the jet bridge, and there's a person with the sign, and boom, Humphrey Chung, give them all your documents. And they also give you 2 PDFs. Print out the first page of each PDF. That's basically the ticket, what you have to show the immigration and folks. So I had my passport, I had my ticket, and I had the 2 pages, page 1 of both of the PDF attachments in like a paper clip, and just handed it to the guy. It's like, cool. And followed him, and he's in this nice kind of like gold suit, and led me to the electric buggy. And we got in the electric buggy, put my baggage. So I had 1 carry-on, 1 backpack. It's nice to just chuck it into the buggy, and off we go. To immigration. It's actually pretty cool. Like I wouldn't have thought, like, I walk, right? I can still walk around, no big deal. But when you're coming off a long flight and you have a decently heavy carry-on and you've been lugging this backpack full of Ukrainian like souvenirs, it's good just to get in that buggy and just boom. And it's nice because you're just zooming past everyone. Now, it's not as fast as you think it would be. And the reason for this is, yes, that buggy can get pretty fast, but when you're going around on not the travelator portion, right, the flat portion, people are freaking oblivious to a buggy, even with not the siren, but the warning, doot, 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 that beeping, right? People just do not pay attention. And so they'll be walking, and I guess his orders are he doesn't use the horn. He never used the horn to move people away. So we'd be behind someone and they're just like looking at their phone, oblivious for like 15 seconds. Like I counted, there was like 15 seconds and person finally turned around, oh, there's a buggy behind me, right? So the buggy isn't like completely speeding down. Now there were times where a straight shot, no one there, just boom, right? So we're zooming down or making some decent time, and we drive past the main immigration hall. So this is like where the normal people get in, and it was packed. It is middle of December 2022. COVID's over pretty much, and people are coming back. The line was looking pretty long, pretty hairy, and he's like, we don't go to that line. We go to fast track. Cool, right? So we drove by that, and Bangkok Airport, they have redone their fast track lanes to make them look all fancy and nice. So it's like nice arch, and like there's a lounge in there. Like it's pretty cool. And so we get off the buggy, go into the fast track section. And the fast track is like APEC, pilots, crew, Thai Elite, and there's a single one for Thai Elite, which is pretty cool. But first, since I don't have the Thai Elite visa on my passport yet, so I get led to there's this table with some nice couches, and we sit down. He reviews the paperwork. Okay, so here's your acceptance letter. So I got a nice acceptance letter. The reason for the acceptance letter is they have run out of Thailand Elite cards. So you're supposed to get a membership card, but I guess they're out until the end of January, or they have to print some more, or so many people getting Thai Elite. So they gave me this letter. It's like, since you don't have the card, show this letter, and it counts as the same. And then he took my passport, handed it. It's so Thailand, right? So he's sitting in front of me. He's got my passport. He hands it like 3 feet away to this immigration lady, right? Boom, to the other table. And she looks at it like literally 15 seconds. Like, does something, boom, fixed it, done. I was like, dude, that was so fast. Like, yeah, it's fast because we give them your information beforehand. They're already, they know you're coming. So they've already checked everything. It's like, cool. Right? So that gets me the visa, the gold thing, right? But I'm still not in Thailand yet. So then he takes my passport and the paperwork. We walk about 20 meters to the Thailand Elite line, right? There's one guy there. And it's also pretty cool when you have this escort with you, no one fucks with you. Like no one, like everyone just assumes because you're being escorted by this person in a gold suit that you're cool. And so it's pretty fun because you walk up to the immigration guy just like you would normally, but your Thailand Elite person hands the paperwork and then steps back, right? So he's escorting you, but he's not with you, if that makes any sense. Stands off to the side and looks, and the Thailand Elite immigration guy is like super friendly, like super awesome. And I'll give you a side story of what happened while I was there. So before me was a probably 80-year-old gentleman in a wheelchair. They're pushing him. So he had his Thailand Elite as well. Now these new fast track lanes, every one of those lanes, wheelchair didn't fit. I guess they didn't ask the wheelchair people, right? So they're like, they pushed him up to the railing, and the immigration officer's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So they moved him around, and finally what they did is they're like, well, are you able to walk like 5 feet, and then we could collapse the wheelchair. So that was like, I was looking at that situation, I was like, yeah, I'm back in Thailand, because this wouldn't have happened in Singapore. They would never have made that mistake, but I was like, yeah, it's Thailand. But it was kind of funny that you spent all this money making these fast track lanes and the railing, and they look really nice and super nice, but a wheelchair doesn't fit through it. You got through, and then that immigration officer popped in the 1-year stamp onto my passport, and you still have to do I did the 4 fingers on the right side, and didn't need to do the left side, didn't need to look at the camera unless he did it like super quick, but I was out of there in about 30 seconds. And then my Thailand Elite guy rejoins me, like he walks around, rejoins me, and I didn't have any checked luggage, so he walks with you through customs, right? So customs, you've got the green lane, no declaration, and the red lane. And when that guy's with you, the customs guys don't bother you at all. It's like, boom, you're through. Okay, let's talk about the third benefit. So the first benefit was the visa. The second benefit was the buggy and the person, him or her meeting you at the airport, escorting you. The third will be your transfer. So going from the airport to your hotel or from your hotel to the airport, you now have 24 per year airport transfers. So you submit your information through the website, submit it through a form, and then they will send a car to pick you up. And this car is like a nice Toyota Camry, could be a Mercedes. They give you a list of what kind of cars they are. And it's much better than a normal taxi. The driver's better, they speak English. All the Thailand Elite escorts, they speak perfectly fine English if that's a concern. And yeah, you get that for free. And so 24, so if you just take a taxi fare of like 400 to 500 baht, going to and from the airport, and let's just say 500 baht. I know that's high, but it'll make the calculation easier. So if you get 24 of these a year, that's worth 12,000 baht. Not bad, not bad. And it's always waiting for you at the airport. It's also there at the hotel to pick you up. So I think that's a good perk. This is a good perk. Now, it can't take you everywhere. There's a limit on the distance. It's 80 kilometers, but if you're landing at Bangkok Airport or if you're leaving from Bangkok Airport, 80 kilometers is like all of Bangkok, even to Nonthaburi and some of the outskirts. So that shouldn't be a problem. Now here, some of you thinking, but Humphrey, I like Pattaya. That's not going to work if it's an 80 kilometer limit. So something that you don't know, that a lot of people don't know about, yes, you got 24 airport transfers every year. If you want to go to Pattaya, or if you want them to take you from Pattaya to the airport, you can still do that. It is available, but it's going to cost you 3 of those transfers. So Pattaya is worth 3 of the Bangkok, transfers. It's still okay, right? So if you do this, Pattaya, you can do it 8 times a year. Another benefit is the 90-day reporting help. Right? So I talked to you before, 90-day reporting help. Is this a good benefit? I would say not that great. And so what do I mean by this 90-day reporting help? So to do your 90-day reporting, you can go to the Thailand Elite office that's near you. So they've got them in different cities. So Bangkok, there's one. Pattaya, there's one. And you drop off your passport. And what they do is they take your passport to do your 90-day reporting. And then they give it to you. So you drop it off on a Monday or Tuesday. It's in the email somewhere. You drop it off on a Monday or Tuesday, and it's back on a Friday, I believe, right? So sounds good, right? But this only really helps if you need to do 90 days. So once again, if you travel in and out every couple months, or even every couple weeks, you'll never hit the 90 days, and so you don't need this. Second is the 90-day reporting, I believe, after the first time. So the first time you have to do this in person, but after that, the 90-day reporting can be done online. So if you can do it online, do it, and then you don't need to drop this off. So the help where you drop off the passport and they take it to the 90-day reporting is, in my view, for my perspective, in my situation, isn't really that helpful. Okay, now you have the ability, you can get assistance with getting a Thai driver's license. Kind of cool, right? And you can get assistance with getting a Thai bank account. Now, not all Thai bank accounts are eligible for this. The Green Bank, and there's another one, but I only care about the Green Bank, Kasikorn Bank. What you do is you let Thailand Elite know, and they send you a letter from Thailand Elite. I don't know what the letter says, but apparently you take this letter to the bank and you're good. They also offer another service, which is the Elite Personal Assistant. And the Elite Personal Assistant goes with you to the bank and helps you out, which may be cool. But the Elite Personal Assistant can also be used to escort you to get your driver's license. But I think in these instances, the personal assistant, personal liaison, whatever they call it, you can probably do the bank account just with this letter without them going with you. But if you run into any trouble, then you can call them up and get the personal liaison, personal assistant to go with you. And it's kind of nice to have a person speaking Thai on your behalf, kind of like a pocket translator. Now, yes, you can get that normally. You don't need Thai Elite to get a Thai bank account and a Thai driver's license, but it does make it a little bit easier. The final two benefits, you got a lounge at the Bangkok airport for Thai Elite people, kind of cool. But if you got status with other airlines, you're probably going to use their lounges. Final thing is there are get-togethers of Thai Elite members, so they will arrange trips to this restaurant or that restaurant. This actually could be a really good benefit. Is if you think about it, who has Thai Elite? People have money, people have travel. It's probably good to talk to other people who travel and have money. Just saying, it's kind of like a country club, golf club, or whatever. Why did I get Thai Elite? What made Thai Elite valuable in my situation? One, COVID-19. I realized during COVID-19 that you need backup options. So me being in Singapore, starting in December 2019, COVID hit in February 2020, everything goes into lockdown. All the Asian countries went into lockdowns, and they had various levels of lockdowns. And I realized that having all your eggs in one basket, now I could have gone back to the US, but when you have all your eggs in one basket, it gets a lot very scary, especially during a pandemic season, pandemic situation. So I realized that having a Singapore employment pass and having a Singapore personalized employment pass, I needed a backup option from that. And Thailand made a lot of sense. Boom, just give me a 5-year visa and we'll go from there, and I can extend it to 20 years. So COVID-19, having a backup plan. Number two, the currency exchange rate. 10 years ago, if you would have asked me if I ever would have thought about getting Thailand Elite, hell no. Never. 600,000 baht? Are you stupid? Why would I do that, right? But that was when the Thai baht was like 30 to $1, right? $20,000, right? 30 to $1. And then a couple months ago, if you remember, the Thai baht got up to like 38 to 1. Okay, now 38 to 1, you're talking like $16,000, $17,000. That made sense. And the third reason, no-brainer as well, is I'm not 50, I'm 48, so I'm not eligible for a retirement visa. Got to be 50 for the retirement visa. Now, what's the downside to Thailand Elite? It's 600,000 baht. So my feeling on the 600,000 baht, just giving it away, yeah, it's not an inconsequential amount of money, right? $16,000. But versus before, I'm in a much different financial situation than 5 years ago, or definitely 10 years ago, right? Man, 10 years ago, trying to plunk down $17,000, $20,000 wouldn't have made sense. That didn't even have that much money in my bank account. Ooh, so this was a long video. Yeah, so we went through the benefits of Thailand Elite. We ranked them up. Not all the benefits are the same. We talked about why I got the Thailand Elite. We talked about the timeline, how long it takes for you to do anything, and how tough it was to pay for it. You might run into the same situation as the wire transfer. It keeps bombing out, but you always have the option of doing the credit card payment. And we also talked about what happens on your first visit. So you get the escort, you get the electric buggy, you get the stamp affixed on your passport. We also talked about how you can, you don't necessarily need to start the clock right away. I waited a month, right? So I was in Ukraine when all of this got approved, and then I told them, hey, I'll be back in Bangkok in a month. Is that possible? They're like, yeah, sure, that's fine, right? So yeah, starting December 13th, 2020, I got Thailand Elite, and it lasts for 5 years. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get to them. But yeah, everyone stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.